Hi, folks. Thanks for joining in. Today, we are going to continue our journey with the chatbot platform. So, we're going to add the ability to upload files and then read from these files and be able to give responses. We're going to use OpenAI's APIs extensively for this. So, let's jump right in. So, OpenAI has this feature called assistants, which we're going to use over here. So, what I'm first trying to do is I've asked Cursor that when it creates a bot, it should also create an assistant. So let's go ahead and create a new bot first. So that has not worked. You can see that there's some error generated and an assistant has not been created. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to GPT-4o model instead of using the Claude 3.5 model, because the GPT-4o model is better trained with OpenAI documentation. Let's go ahead and try it. Just going to go ahead and create a new bot and let's see if it shows up in assistance. There we go. It has now shown up in assistance. Now what we want to do is we want the ability to have file search in assistance. You can manually upload files, but that's not what we want. So now what we're looking for is that when a user uploads a new file, it is then associated with a particular assistant. But the way OpenAI works is that every assistant can have multiple vector stores and each vector store can have multiple files. So we have to do this level of traversing when we are setting this up. So from our perspective, we are going to create one vector store per bot. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to associate files to the same vector store. So now we're writing the code to upload the file. So once that is done, we should be able to upload the files. So once that is done, if you select the bot and select the file, it should be able to upload it. And you should be able to see it in storage. Yep, there we have it. So the file has been uploaded. However, I don't think it has created a vector store. So whenever we create a bot, that's when we need to create the vector store. So let's go ahead and modify the code accordingly. I have again selected the GPT-4o model as the commands are known to GPT-4o compared to Claude 3.5. So I'm asking it to create a new vector store every time a bot is created. I have gone ahead and pasted the code from the documentation so that it's easier. Now you can see that when I created a new bot, it has also created a vector store. Now, instead of calling it upload files, I'm going to make it a files tab. And in the files tab, it will list all the uploaded files. And then eventually we'll add an option to associate a file with a particular vector store, which is further associated with an assistant, which is what we call a bot. I'm just looking at the create upload documentation for this and the vector store files. So you have to upload a file and you have to associate that file with a particular vector store eventually. Let's start with just listing the files. So we can have a files tab that lists all the files. And I'm just sharing the relevant code so that it becomes easier for Cursor to be able to respond. It made a mistake of using its own OpenAI key. I had to prompt it again to use the same OpenAI key that we've already been using. Now let's try and create a new bot. I'm just testing it out. So I'm creating a new gym trainer as a bot. and you should be able to see it in assistants eventually. And with every assistant, you should be able to see a vector store is attached. And with the vector store, you should be able to see that it's used by a particular assistant. So it's all linked together. So whenever you create a new bot, it creates an assistant and it creates a vector store and it associates the vector store with the assistant. And when someone uploads a new file, we want to store that in the database as well, so that we have all the data information in our local database, so that we can associate a file with a particular vector store ID. As you can see, files are now being uploaded and they are being stored in the database as well. That's what we needed. Now let's go and add an associate icon next to each file. And doing this will associate a particular file with a particular vector store. Remember that each vector store is assigned to a single bot or a single assistant. So you should be able to retrieve that information when you chat with the bot. And then go again and create out a new bot. And let's hit associate. Let's select gym trainer. Now in OpenAI, let's go ahead and check if everything is connected. In vector store, you can see that the file is attached. In assistant, you can see that it is connected to the vector store. We have uploaded a customer support document. So let's just check in the OpenAI playground. And you can see it's retrieving from the document uploaded. Cool. So now we have the basics in place where you can upload a file. It associates that with a vector store, which associates itself with a bot, and then you can query the bot. The old test bots feature is still using the standard OpenAI API, and that is going to give us a generic response. We need to now convert this to use the assistants API. So I've created a new bot. I've created a new workout file, and I've associated that. There's a small error which we can fix later. Now let's modify the test tab to allow us to select a thread. By default, we'll put the default ID, and there we have it. So once you have entered a message which said, tell me how many gym workouts you know, and it said, I know 100 gym workouts, which is what's mentioned in the file. So there you have it. Today we created the ability to upload files and connect that with individual bots and to be able to get responses from those bots after retrieving those files. Yeah, that's all for now. Thank you.